What is up, people at home? I'm coming at you today live from my house, and this was kind of like a spur of the moment type of thing. It wasn't really planned, but I want to talk more. I guess I will also do the AFC Championship game too, but the NFC Championship game is less than 3 hours away, only 2.5 hours away. You have the Eagles, who are the number one seed, hosting the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game. And we all know that this is a matchup of two of the best teams in the NFL, obviously the two best teams in the NFC. So it's really going to be an exciting matchup. And then later on, you have another trip to the AFC champion, or another trip to the Super Bowl on the line between the Bengals and the almost said 49ers, but the Chiefs. So rematch of last year, Joe Burrow and the Bengals went into Kansas City. They're calling Kansas City Burrowhead Stadium now. A lot of the players are pissed off about that. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna have to see how these games play out and everything. But I am going to. What's going on, Lady Kenzie? Nice to see you in here. So let's start with the game. Let's start with the Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. By the way, if you guys are new, please subscribe to Sideline Sports on YouTube. They just finished covering the National Scouting Combine out in Indianapolis, and we will be in Arizona to cover the Super Bowl. So make sure you guys follow for some great content with that. But let's just go ahead and talk about this game. The San Francisco 49ers are a great football team. They have great players on both sides of the ball. They have a lot of talent, especially on their defense. Their defense is – they got some unbelievable players over there, man. They got Fred Warner, who is the best linebacker in the NFL. So I really think that when you look at this Eagles offense, when you look at the things that they like to do, the RPOs, getting the ball out, running the ball, Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts, read options, zone reads, it's all going to play a major factor. Like, what are these linebackers going to do? Are they going to focus on Jalen Hurts running out of the pocket? Or are they going to go after Miles Sanders? I don't know. But the linebackers against Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, I think that is going to be one of the key matchups of this game. And can this offensive line of the Eagles hold up against a really good 49ers defense? You have Nick Bosa, who is likely the defensive player of the year this year with 18.5 sacks, I do believe. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this offensive line can hold up against them. However, what I would say to you is the San Francisco 49ers corners have struggled a little bit in these playoffs against wide receivers. So could A.J. Brown, could Devontae Smith be in line for a big day? I think that is something that you need to watch out for. So last week we had CeeDee Lamb, 117 receiving yards for him. The week before that, DK Metcalf with the Seahawks, 136 yards. So with that being said, you do have two guys on first team All-Pro. I believe this year you have Jason Kelce, and you also have Lane Johnson at the right tackle position. And Lane Johnson, even playing through injury last week, he had a phenomenal game. So this offensive line, if they're able to hold up in pass protection, Jalen Hurts has shown that he's not just a running quarterback. He's a quarterback that can beat you from inside the pocket, outside the pocket. He can run. He can pass. He can do everything. He can throw on the run. So I think that is going to cause some problems for the San Francisco defense if they're not able to get home and get Jalen Hurts on the ground early and often. And I think this offensive line is going to come to play. But on the other side, this is where it could get interesting because the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan has done a lot of great things with Brock Purdy. So Brock Purdy took over 7 weeks ago, I believe. His first start was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They won that game 35-7. And it seems like the rest is history. This has been an unbelievable run by this 49ers team. I mean, I don't even think that people expected this from Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy, I don't think, has experienced what he is going to experience today. I think last week, the Dallas Cowboys defense, they did everything they could to have a chance to win that game. They were all over Brock Purdy. They were all over him. They were pressuring him. They were rattling him. They were getting to him. It was a lot. And I think the Philadelphia Eagles defense has enough to get him rattled as well. Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat, and most of all, Hassan Reddick, who had an unbelievable season this year, 16.5 sacks for him. And he wasn't even a finalist for the Defensive Player of the Year, which is crazy to me. Hassan Reddick has been the Eagles' best pickup, other than probably A.J. Brown. So I just think that this defensive line has what it takes to get to Brock Purdy. Even if you line up Trent Williams, one of the best left tackles in the league, even if was somehow able to shut down Hassan Reddick, we believe that Josh Sweat can get the job done. We believe that Brandon Graham, who has been to the top of the mountain, who has won a Super Bowl, who has shown up in the biggest moments, getting that strip sack against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, knowing what it takes in this type of atmosphere, in this type of environment, which Brock Purdy hasn't experienced. And you know that the Philadelphia faithful, the Philadelphia fans, are going to give him a warm welcome. You are a rookie quarterback, Brock Purdy. You're coming into Philadelphia. I don't know if that's going to bode well for him, again, in this hostile environment. It was one thing to play those 2 games that you played at home, but I don't know. I don't trust that. As great as the San Francisco defense is, this is what it comes down to me. It comes down to the quarterback. It comes down to quarterback. I just don't think that Brock Purdy is going to make more plays against this Philadelphia Eagles defense, who admittedly were not as good as the San Francisco defense, but we're still a top defense in the league. We were the eighth ranked defense overall for the 2022 season. And we all know that we got playmakers in the secondary as well. C.J. Gardner-Johnson led the league in interceptions despite missing 5 games. Kind of like Dak Prescott led the league in interceptions despite missing 5 games. But I ain't going to go there. Darius Slay, a first-team All-Pro this year. Bradbury, second-team All-Pro. Had the interception last week against his former team in the divisional round against the Giants. So Avonte Maddox is also coming back, so that's going to free up Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to play the safety position and roam the middle of the field and wait for Brock Purdy to, make that rookie mistake that we really haven't seen him make yet, because Kyle Shanahan has done a fantastic job protecting him and not putting the game on him. But I do not think that a safe game plan is going to work against the Eagles. You have to be aggressive. You have to be assertive if you're going to win this game. The 49ers have to take control of the line of scrimmage. They have to probably dominate time of possession. If there's turnovers, that's not going to be good. If you're giving Jalen Hurts a short field, if the Eagles are set up in really good field position, we are one of the best teams in pretty much turning over or cashing in on those turnovers. It's happened all year. Teams that turn the ball over, we're putting touchdowns on the board. So I expect that to continue. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Eagles are going to pull this one out. I think the Eagles win 24-21, and they advance to the Super Bowl once again for the second time in the last 5 seasons. The Eagles taking on the winner of the AFC Championship game, which is what I'm going to get to next. So First of all, you have arguably the two best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. You have Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Patrick Mahomes was having an ankle injury last week against the Jaguars. The Jaguars were not able to take advantage of when Mahomes was out. And the Chiefs are once again hosting the AFC Championship game. And then you had Buffalo, and then you had Cincinnati that went into Buffalo and really put a beat down on them. They took control of the game early. They were up 14-0 in the first quarter. And it was just a huge uphill battle for the Buffalo Bills ever since then. And Joe Burrow was pretty much able to pick that defense apart. He got whatever he wanted. Jamar Chase was making plays. All these guys, all these weapons, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, they were making plays for the Bengals offense. And the Bills just didn't really have an answer for that. And the Bengals just pretty much took control of that game. But this is going to be an intense matchup between two of the best in the game right now. So when it's all said and done, I'm picking the Cincinnati Bengals to repeat as the AFC champions. I think they're going to go into Arrowhead Stadium. I don't think the Chiefs defense is going to have what it takes to slow down Joe Burrow and company. The Bengals defense, anytime you're facing a guy like Patrick Mahomes, it still presents a lot of problems for you. But the way the Bengals defense played against Josh Allen and that Buffalo Bills team, and the way that they've played as of late, their defense is actually really impressive. I mean, I know we can laugh at the stuff about, I know Sauce Gardner from the New York Jets, he said that Eli Apple is like the Patrick Beverly of the NFL. Like, he's always talking big talk, but he doesn't really back it up. But he has kind of backed it up. He backed it up last year in the AFC Championship against Tyreek Hill, and Chiefs no longer have Tyreek Hill. So in this game, I think Travis Kelce is probably going to get his, even though Jesse Bates is a good safety. So that is actually a good matchup that I'm going to be watching, Bates versus Travis Kelce. But if he gets his, he gets his. I think the Chiefs have to – I think that the Bengals are going to make someone else on the Chiefs have to beat them. I mean, they're going to let Kelce get his, but who else is going to step up? Is Scantling going to step up? Is it going to be Juju? Who's it going to be? Which one of these other wide receivers on the team is going to do something and make that one big impact play that's going to win the Kansas City Chiefs the game and send them back to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 2020 season? So that is my official prediction, and I have the Eagles and the Bengals in Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona. I had a brain fart. I really wanted to say Phoenix, even though Glendale is right outside of the Phoenix area. Like I said, the Sideline Sports team will be there. They will be covering this game. They will be covering everything for the Super Bowl. So follow on Twitter at Sideline Sport 1. Subscribe to Sideline Sports on YouTube. Check out all the content that they put out this past week. Like I said, they were in Indianapolis covering the National Scouting Combine, giving these young guys the opportunity to go out in front of some NFL scouts. Some guys that don't get the invitations to the bigger NFL Combine. That's going to be at the end of February. Listen, it's a great opportunity, and these guys were working so hard to put out such great content covering this event, doing interviews, making sure they're filming all the drills and everything. National Scouting Combine is definitely something that you want to be on the lookout for. So, Cowboy X Factors here. He says, good luck, Philly Jim. Thank you, sir. First championship game with quarterbacks under 25 years old. Yes, Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts are the youngest quarterbacks to ever play in the conference championship game. So that is pretty crazy. Yes, Jim, we had our chance. We would have won the game if our offense if our offense did not take the field. Yikes. Wow, that's pretty rough, man. But yeah, I mean, the Dallas Cowboys, they really did everything that they could to keep themselves in the game, even though Dak Prescott was turning the ball over, even though he was throwing interceptions, putting the team in a really bad position. The team was still in the game because of that defense. That defense was able to keep everything to a minimum. They were still holding the 49ers to field goal attempts. They scored less than 20 points. If your offense cannot put up 20 points, if you're the Dallas Cowboys offense with the team that they have, you know, I know the 49ers defense is fantastic, but Dak, you at least got to be able to give me 20 points. If you didn't turn the ball over, they likely would have. So that actually was the difference. So I know Trayvon Diggs had a dropped interception, and a lot of people were talking about that. But listen, man, I can't point to that for the reason why the Cowboys were not able to beat the 49ers. I just think we know the reason is obvious, that it was Dak. This game was 100% on Dak Prescott. There is no other person that you can really blame unless you want to throw Kellen Moore in there, which a lot of Cowboys fans do. So I understand it. But nah, man, if the Eagles defense plays at the same level and holds the 49ers offense in check, kind of like what the Cowboys are able to do, this Eagles offense, Jalen Hurts has not turned the ball over like Dak Prescott. He's taking care of the ball very, very well all year. Only 6 interceptions. Had one of the best touchdown interception ratios in the league this year. Plays very efficient. So I think that if the Eagles are able to get over 20 points, they're definitely going to have a great chance to win this game and go to the Super Bowl. But those are my thoughts. That is pretty much what I wanted to say. Wanted to just give my predictions and everything, do a little pregame show real quick. Like I said, everyone, subscribe, follow Sideline Sports on Twitter at Sideline Sport 1. Follow them on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will be in Arizona next, as early as not this coming week, but the week after. And we will be covering everything you need to know for Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona. I will see you guys very, very soon with all of that. We have the Gauntlet next Friday. We have LinkedIn this week as well, where we cover the Philadelphia Eagles. So thank you guys for tuning in to Sideline Sports and supporting us in all our endeavors. We'll see you guys next time.